Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Disney's Rachel Zegler's Snow White movie coming out in 2025 very soon. But so before you guys see this video, I will have uploaded my Snow White teaser trailer reaction that I did with the boys a long time ago, and that was one of the funniest videos we've ever done. We completely roasted Rachel Zegler. So I don't want to just rehash everything I already said in that video. Just go and watch that. So basically, long story short, for this video, if you guys haven't watched that video, is Rachel Zegler is an insufferable, literal retarded piece of shit. So obviously most women, because most women are insufferable and they just can't take accountability for anything. She's had multiple L's constantly throughout this tenure of her being freaking Snow White and everything. But the box office projections for her Snow White movie have finally come out. And keep in mind, this movie's had just about as many reshoots and re-edits and cuts and all that stuff as Captain America 4. Keep in mind, this movie's had CGI implemented to it, because originally, you guys remember that Snow White in a 7D they were going to use actual dwarves. Crazy people. It's we're getting in territory that is.
They look like nightmare lawn gnomes. That right now they look like nightmare lawn gnomes. Like that's what they look like.
And, I'll say this. The freaking Ariel casting, making her black and all that stuff is obviously bad, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with any race swaps or gender swaps, as you guys know. But at least for Snow White, since this was the first animated movie that put Disney on the map, you think like, okay, they cast the person with the correct skin color. Snow White, Snow as pure as white snow. Pretty sure it can't get more descriptive than that. People say, you gotta follow the source material. That is the source material. That literally is what her character is supposed to look like. They casted a Puerto Rican. People say, but it makes no difference. What if the actor's good? Doesn't matter. There's people that get casted accurately for skin color and you can get a good performance. What is this line of logic where you have to cast a good actor but forsake the facial features? You can get both. You know that, right? But you guys can't hold two thoughts in your head. You're fucking retarded as hell. But nevertheless, let's see what her movie is actually attempting to make opening weekend. So this movie's budget is somewhere, I forgot the actual official number they put out, or it's rumored. Isn't it like $200 million, somewhere around like the Flashes? Like it's 250, 280, maybe 300 highest.
I would think right? Close to 300 is what I would think.
Rachel Zegler's Snow White early box office projections eyeing continued downward trend for live action Disney remake. So I will say this. Hey, I never admit this. I was wrong. I thought Sonic 3 was going to crush Mufasa. I was wrong. Mufasa won fair and square. And you guys always say I can't be humble and can't admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong. Sorry. I thought Sonic 3 was generally going to beat it. It didn't. So
I didn't think it was going to beat it. I thought it was going to barely scrape by, which is what I felt it did. And Sonic has only grown. Like you can watch the numbers from the first movie to the third movie.
Yeah.
In Sonic, each one that releases actually grows. But if you want to compare it like that, you can look at the first one, The Lion King, and it made like 1.6 billion. This one made what,
664?
6 million, 64.
Yeah.
Or, 600. It's still, that's not bad. It's not bad. But I almost guarantee nobody rewatches these movies. People are going to rewatch Sonic a bunch.
Sonic will be rewatched forever.
It drops on Paramount or whatever. People are going to be watching it instantly. Like,
agreed.
Yeah. And Sonic to me
nobody's watching.
I haven't seen Mufasa. I love the animated Lion King. It's one of my favorite movies ever made. I've seen clips from the live action movie. That looks like trash. I have no clue that made $1 billion freaking dollars. I do, because it's at the Lion King.
You don't want somebody to sing about your brother or whatever that shit is.
They always break into tune. Like no one does that in real life. Imagine doing that in real life. You just breaking a tune. I would love to have sex with women. It's like, no one does that. If you do that, you're fucking probably on meth.
The only people around here that do that is MSK, and we chastise him endlessly about it.
I think Rachel Zegler, as you guys know from the previous video that I said, go watch that, get the context of all her bullshit. The D23, the whole weird thing. She's talking about, what were the strike? If this movie is streamed and blah, 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 I'm going to get paid. And I'll say, this guy's woman's retarded as hell. She was just an absolutely insufferable idiot. Hope this movie fucking fails just because of her, you know? And so we're supposed to believe Gal Gadot is the one that's jealous of her.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I guess. Like, why do they keep doing these live action remakes? Guys, I'll be honest, for any of these live action remakes, because most of them are not that good, if at all. Go watch the animated ones. Just literally watch those. Those are the better movies. By far, it's not even close. Like, you think, like, okay, maybe it might be a little. No, it's by far and away those are better. It's not even in the same league as the animated movies. But people think animation is for kids, so they gotta remake shit in live action because it's more better in my proper cinema. Like, shut the fuck up, man.
The biggest problem that they have with like the animation or like the live action stuff, especially when they go from something that's very cartoonish, is you lose that kind
jarring.
of well, you lose the kind of like the fun whimsicalness and like, you know, a great example would be, Little Mermaid. Like, I remember going to watch that. I made it through the first song and I was like, oh, the first song's okay. By the time we got to the second song, I literally walked out. I was like, this is because all the fish, they're just fish. And then they talk like people, but they don't have the expressive eyes. They don't have the characteristics. They don't have the character behind them at all. It's jarring. It's very weird. And, they tried to do it apparently with Mufasa. I haven't seen Mufasa, but it's like they tried to make them more expressive. But when you try to do this live action shit with these certain type of characters and whatever, it just doesn't translate well. You don't get that emotion. You don't get the expressiveness. You don't get you just don't get it in these live action things at all. And to have a person try to express that kind of stuff, just even a person trying to express the stuff that a cartoon can, like, I mean, anime is a great example, like the crazy effects and stuff that go behind them when they freak out and their eyes get all big and there's like fire behind them or something. You're like, you're not going to get that from a person. You're just not. You get it from me.
I can do it. No. All right. What do you want to say,
But
Bob?
a lot of that expressiveness and stuff, it gives us a glimpse inside to what the character's thinking.
And
that's
it's an extra layer. It's an extra layer that's missing. You're missing layers to these characters.
And then for like the animals, I mean, you're talking about characters that they're giving human qualities to, and then when you try to make them lifelike, you're not going to get that because they're not human characters in reality. So you've taken, like you said, Syphax, you've taken away that expressiveness.
Also, I want to point out the fact that Disney has been all into this like DEI bullshit. Disney's been like, oh, minorities, underrepresented people. This is a shit company because I don't know why you guys believe bullshit these companies say. They just telling you what you want to hear. This company for years, literally since like when? 2013, 14, 15 has been like, oh, minorities and underrepresented marginalized groups. These aren't even real dwarfs they're using. These are CGI. They literally fired all the black people that were going to be fucking hell. They fired all the black people that were going to be the dwarfs. The dwarfs, when they're fucking like 6 feet tall black dudes, going to be Riley Reading, Rachel Zegler in this fucking movie probably. No, they don't care about minorities. Why do you guys believe that nonsense? They literally did that. But it doesn't matter because they're on your right side of the politics. You guys are fucking retarded, man. Nevertheless,
I mean, even in the movie, I mean, it's like she has all the dwarves do all the cleaning that she was originally going to do. And to be fair, right now, that's pretty accurate with the politics right now because you're going to have to do your own cleaning and you can't just get it for free by doing slave labor to all your dwarf friends.
Remember during the Trump inauguration, they went to that Catholic lady where she was like, "Who will the immigrants? Who will pick our crops?"
Retarded. Yeah.
Who will pick our crops? Can't be more openly racist than that. Just putting it out there.
Who are going to pay underwage wages to do all this stuff? Like, where did you're going to deport our slave labor? How dare you? Like, that's literally what you're saying to the American people. Like, you're going to take away our slave labor? Wow.
I was lost when she said, "Who will pick our crops?" That it's okay. They didn't even try and hide it at this point.
When that's your argument, it's like, dude, you guys are so far gone. You don't even do you even hear the words that you're saying? Or you like
they don't?
They
oh god.
They don't even grasp it. It's insane.
With the movie still just over a month away, early box office projections are coming in for the live-action Snow White remake and are in the middle of the pack. Golden Globe winner Rachel Zegler is leading the ensemble cast for the film in the titular role, with the story now seeing Snow as the daughter of a king who was usurped by Gal Gadot's evil queen, and after escaping from her castle, plots to reclaim the kingdom with the help of 7 magical creatures. Oh god, they don't say dwarfs. Fucking hell, man. Helmed by Mark Webb. Mark Webb, who did the Amazing Spider-Man movies, you guys don't remember. So yeah. Mark, I know you need money, bro, but why did you ever direct this? Paycheck. The Snow White remake garnered lots of controversy during its production. Despite its controversies, as reported by Deadline, the early box office projections for Snow White are proving modest as of now. Zegler's live-action remake is currently on track for a $63 to $70 million domestic opening weekend, so not worldwide. This is just what it'll potentially make here in America, as reported by both Quorum and the publication's own sources. This would effectively mark Zegler's biggest grossing opening weekend to date, with the current record being held by the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Buttfucks with $44.6 million.
Ballad, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually liked that movie. So
I can read, but Hunger Games first movie is the only one I ever watched because I just didn't really care to return to more of them. I
read the books. I was dating this girl and she was like, "Hey,
you were dating a girl? That's crazy. What held you?
Yeah, what a concept. You ever heard of that before? You probably haven't. I understand. It's foreign to you. Very foreign.
I know you can't relate in this case.
Oh, yeah. I can't see myself in that fucking scenario. I'm sorry. I've only just
we understand you can only see yourself in other dudes, but
okay.
That's
I'm
a
Charlie
you
Harper
situation.
From 2.5 Men. I was one night stands every night, hot girls flying out of my house.
You said you want to be hard for 2.5 Men? What?
Okay, all right.
Wow. What was that?
I know I'm Charlie Harper from 2.5 Men.
I feel like we learn something new about you every day.
I think you're Alan from 2.5
Or actually, we don't.
You'd be living on my couch if I was in that scenario, but that's just me personally, While a $63 to $70 million haul is a modest figure, if it does prove more concrete upon Snow White's March 20 release, it is not a great sign for the movie's final box office tally. Reports are currently varying on the movie's final budgetary figures. Now, we even had this as a talking point that, Ryan Cannell put out in his video with the Marvel one. Guys, Disney will literally lie to you about movies' budgets. Now, to be fair, back in the day, you believed them if a movie's budget was true. But now we know studios might be lying about the final budget numbers. Though it's been reported that the film could have cost upward of $269 million when factoring in marketing and theatrical release costs, which typically are about 2.5 times the production budget. That would put the movie's break-even point at $673 million. That's insane. That's just break-even. That's not profit.
They're not coming close to that, man.
Come on, guys. That's just like you just essentially lost making this movie. That's not profit. They're not happy. Anyone that says studios are fine with breaking even, you're actually stupid. Do you think these studios invest millions of dollars, hundreds of million dollars just to break even? Literally, actually stop. Literally, throw your phone in the trash. Delete your social media. You're stupid.
I'm gonna go back to the same example. I'm going to go back to the same example I use all the time. Like, hey, man, and this will just make it easier for people at our level, maybe of whatever money. I don't know how good people are with their money. Let's just break it down for a layman, easy amount of money. Give me $200, and then in 2 years, I'm going to hand you maybe $205. Do you think that's a fucking good investment? That's a terrible goddamn investment. Like, hey, you made $5 in 2 years.
Keep in mind, theater cuts all in America got to get their cuts.
That's being generous of what these things actually pull. That's the equivalent for these billion-dollar companies for a regular person to be putting their money into. That's a terrible investment. Don't do that investment. These billion-dollar companies, it's way bigger figures. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid.
This is one of those things where theater cuts. And here in America, as I mentioned just a second ago, then you have overseas. This is getting played in overseas. They're going to get their cut. So essentially, even if it does hit that number right here, doesn't matter. You lost. You made nothing. What did you make?
It's not going to hit that. Little Mermaid didn't even get close to that.
It made what,
Little Mermaid
430?
It made
Right?
like
Little Mermaid finished
540.
under 600 million.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell. What? Oh my goodness. Little
And that
Mermaid
one wasn't
and the Hood.
trashed on anywhere as hard as this is. This one's getting way more
This one's
trashed
getting
on.
way
That
more
one
real.
was,
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
it might be even. The Little Mermaid backlash was huge,
it
actually.
was pretty bad, but I mean,
But
this
for
one's,
different
I think
reasons.
one of the first trailers
Yeah.
was for like the
No
first
one wanted to
trailers
go
on
see
this
Little
had, like,
Mermaid in
2
the
million
Hood.
downloads.
No one's
Like,
trying
it
to
was
see
bad.
Little Mermaid drink grape drink and fucking do her Shaniqua hair. Like, no one's trying to see that shit.
Well,
You know?
and then when you got a chick whose eyes are in different galaxies, that doesn't.
Oh,
help either.
okay. Oh my god. if to look at how Snow White's opening compares to other live action Disney remakes, it would put Zegler's film right in the middle of the bunch, particularly when not factoring in sequels or prequels. In addition to the lowest since Tim Burton's Dumbo, it would also be a continuation of the genre's downward trend at the box office, with most titles falling well shy of the $90 to $100 million range that early remakes enjoyed in their opening weekends. See how Snow White's box office projections compare to other recent Disney remakes and adaptations in the chart below. So we can see opening domestic weekend versus what their final was at. So there's some impressive numbers here. But as you can see, past this one, there's been hit or misses here and there. Aladdin made $1 billion. Obviously, Lion King is Maleficent's sequel, not really doing as well as the first one. You have Cruella. I liked Cruella. I just didn't. But the problem with doing Cruella was, why did you make it that movie? You could have just did this movie without it calling it Cruella. I really don't know, because the movie I thought was fine. That would have been a great movie if it wasn't attached to a Disney character known as Cruella, in my opinion. Little Mermaid, that's what Bob said, $500 million. That made no profit. Snow White, we don't know yet. So look at all, like, comparing all the go ahead.
I was going to say Snow White's going to crash and burn, but I do think Lilo and Stitch is going to do really well.
Yeah, Lilo
Alice,
and Stitch's marketing has been pretty good. They even did a Super Bowl commercial that people actually liked.
Yeah,
I do not doubt that one will hit $1 billion.
That one might get there. Lilo Stitch is very big.
It feels like, every year, maybe every 2 years so far, like Disney has been throwing out a movie that, it breaks that mold. It's like, okay, we got a bunch. It's the one thing that floats the rest of their crappy projects. Like last year was Inside Out 2, right? It was like Inside Out 2 made like 1.6 billion or something. And it's like, but everything else lost a ton of movie.
Yeah.
And then if they're going to they're supposed to drop Avatar 3 this year.
Avatar 3
whether you like this movie or not.
Yeah.
Well, last one almost made 2 billion, or it did make 2 billion.
It did.
You can't rule those ones out, and those things float crappy projects like this. So it's like, as much as this one might fail, the rest of the stuff is going to be made up there, and they're going to be like, yeah, we still actually netted 150 to 200 million dollars.
Yeah.
Isn't that bad?
They're going to do that thing of like, oh, it made a lot of money
for every movie. They don't want that
like
for one movie to float everything else.
It's like what I call the surface level box office number that people look at. People look at the number and go, oh, it made a lot of money. That's not really how that works, though. It's just not. No. But no one really understands these things. You have to constantly reiterate it because people think, oh, my movie made.
Well, that's why I was surprised this article actually addressed it, where they were like, oh, this actually needs to make 670 million to break even. Usually, there's a lot of people say if it cost $100 million and it says it made 150, people are like, it made $50 million. It was like, no, the fuck it didn't. It's in the hole for like 25 right now. Like,
Still. Oh God. Barring Cruella, which had a simultaneous theatrical and Disney Plus premiere release due to the certain virus, most other Disney live action remakes in the same opening weekend range as Snow White fell well short of $600 million, though Mufasa the Lion King's box office saw a gradual rise after a slow start, eventually overtaking Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and becoming a success. Snow White might not fare as well, particularly after the movie's various controversies from Rachel Zegler's remake. Despite the various hurdles facing the movie, I do still believe there is a chance that the live action Snow White remake could find its way to being a box office success. As previously noted, Mufasa the Lion King was able to ride on its positive audience word of mouth to become a success, and given Zegler's film has generally quiet opening release weekend, only up against the Robert De Niro led Alto Night. The family demographic can put their full focus into the Disney remake should they want to. That's like the only thing that it might have going for it. It's going to get released in a month where it's only going to be competing with this. Like
that's the only thing that I have like a little bit of maybe apprehension about the box office for Captain America, because if you look at the month, like, so it releases this Thursday, and for the next month there's basically nothing else out there. There's like a couple horror movies, and horror movies do okay, but they're not going to take away from the blockbuster movie that's in theater right now. So like the Captain America is going to be the blockbuster for about a month, and if they're doing the same thing with this one, it might be the blockbuster technically. However you want to look at it, it's just true.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll even say this. Hey, I admitted I was wrong with Sonic 3 beating Mufasa. I generally thought it was going to win. If Captain America 4 and this one do well at the box office and they actually make profit, I'm not talking break-even bullshit where you don't make money, I will admit I was wrong. But I generally do not think Captain America 4 is making profit for that for Disney. I just don't think so.
I don't think it's going to make profit. I definitely don't think Snow White's going to make any profit at all. I'd be surprised. Like, I can maybe see it passing 400 just out of the name alone.
Yeah,
but with the amount of hate,
I think it does Venom 3 numbers 430 max.
Like, yeah, if this was, if I could bet on it, I wouldn't. Like, just put it that way.
I wouldn't bet on it.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
I got no faith in that movie.
Bob, what are your closing thoughts and opinions on Rachel Zegler's Snow White disaster coming up?
Well, it is going to be a disaster.
That's a layup right there. There you go.
And the thing is, I don't want to hate on it because, well, okay, I do want to hate on it because they've been way.
You had me in the first half. Not gonna lie, you had me.
Yeah, she's put her foot in her mouth way too much. And the sad thing is, I don't even.
If she puts her foot in the mouth in the movie, people might go see it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They're into that shit.
The problem is, I don't even think she's that bad of an actress, but she just can't keep her mouth shut outside of, or on social media, and because of that, I think that's really going to affect the movie. Plus, there is a downward trend. This has just been one that's been reshot and delayed and reshot and delayed. And because of that, I just think people have lost any interest that there would have been had they released it, say, a couple years ago. So yeah, there's just too much. You take politics into mind. The mentality has changed, and they don't want to see Snow White go and liberate all of her people and be a revolutionary. That's not going to fly as it would have, say, a few years ago. So I just don't see this having.
It didn't really fly back then.
What's that?
It didn't even fly. It didn't fly and or work really back then either. It was just like that was just the accepted norm. Like, okay, this is of course it's going to happen, and people just like, I guess this is what we're seeing. Yeah. But now it's like we're done with this. We've been done with this. Can we get back to like a monochrome of normalness?
Yeah,
something. And this isn't going to do it. They always say what Hollywood is about 5 years behind, give or take, of whatever the current things are going on. So we're still going to get movies like this. And at this point, they've invested so much into them. They can't even really, trash them for a tax break, because it's like, oh, the tax break isn't even worth it. So They got to release it and hope for something, That's about it. That's all they got going for them.
Well, as you guys, did you say your last place?
That was basically what I was going to say.
So. Okay, yeah, because I give you a fat contract to be here. You get paid millions to be here, obviously, and you get a lot of hot ladies and clout.
Right.
All right. So as you guys know, for me, there have been some Disney live-action remakes. They've done well at the box office. Some of them have. And you saw the chart. They actually have more hits than non-hits. But the problem here, we're running into a different landscape. Compared to back in the day when you were actively trying to go see them because you love the animated version so much, that's not the case anymore. The numbers, just look at the Mufasa movie, $1 billion plus. Like, not just a billion. It's like $1 billion plus an extra 200-some million on top of that. Mufasa, 600 million. The Maleficent sequel, 400-some million. Cruella, double release, didn't do so well. We're in a different box office landscape than we used to be. So, like back in the day, you'd be like, this would be guaranteed $1 billion, or at least like $800 million, right? Yeah, that's not how it works anymore. No, people don't do that whole, I guarantee it's going to make this. No, unless it's a literal surefire thing. And Rachel Zegler, you know, I'd blow her back out. She gave me an opportunity. That's just me personally because I have a lot of riz. But I wouldn't talk to her afterwards. She's like the girl you sleep with at one night and go like, thank God, or get the fuck out of my house. You couldn't stand it. I women's rights. Shut up. Get the fuck out of my house. What the hell? Women's rights. But I just have no hope for this. We saw the trailer that it looked laughably bad. Laughably bad. You know, the original guy who made Disney into what it is would be appalled. Didn't like some of his kids or whatever talk about how disrespectful it was for Disney to do that to his movie, to cast someone that looks like her, to all that stuff. It's a lot of controversies. And keep in mind, after we just sold out the Super Bowl, the celebrities here in America are not in the good graces right now of the public. And given her recent controversies, probably about as hated as much as Taylor Swift, for being honest here, you know? So we'll see how it goes. Will I watch it? I'll be honest, I've watched every single Snow White movie ever. So maybe it's one of those random franchises I've seen in a movie. I might see it. I don't know. I'll say, go watch Mirror Mirror. It's a much better Snow White movie anyway, honestly. And it has better songs too. And the ending song was fucking fire. So yeah, that's my final piece on it. Rachel Zegler, hey yo, you trying to have some fun some nights? Just hit your boy up. But thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King. We're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace.